Julius, just if you would, give us your big picture thoughts on the season. You went through a lot, ups and downs. How'd you feel about the process of the season and how it finally ended up?
It was great. It was great. Like you said, a lot of ups and downs, but, I think we learned a lot about the character of our team. We showed great flashes, and our ability to bounce back from adversity was great. Overall, I think it's a lot to be excited about, because I think we have a lot of room to grow as well. So.
When you're in the middle of a blitz like OKC was exerting on you guys in the first half, what is it like mentally and within the team? How do you try to fight your way through that kind of thing?
I think it's a good learning lesson for us in many different ways. One, how we can keep ourselves out of those positions and avoid, those runs. I think throughout the series there were a lot of bright points as far as how we played throughout stretches. But they're a team that can hurt you. They're not going to beat themselves. So I think we can learn from that. And I think next year we'll be more prepared.
Julius, I know it's kind of fresh and haven't had a lot of time to think of it. What do you think this team needs to kind of get over that next hurdle?
Right now, it's tough to say. I think we gotta put things in perspective too, and understand this is the first year with a new team. So I think we have to go through these type of experiences together. I don't think it's some big blow up this, that, and the next. I don't know. Those aren't my decisions, but I think for a team that's really a new team in a certain way of personnel, not only just personnel but play style, we got to go through these experiences together. It's tough to say this fresh off the series, but I think experience will be a big factor heading into next year.
Julius, I know it's still fresh, but obviously it's a big summer for you. You have options coming your way. What will go into your decision-making process when you decide what you believe will be best for your future coming up this offseason?
I haven't even thought about it, to be honest with you. I barely got any sleep. I'm not going to lie to you. So I will say that I love it here. And this is the most meaningful basketball I played in my career. And, from how the organization has made me feel, front office and just my teammates and playing with Ant as our leader, I love it. It's a lot to be excited about. So, I haven't even really thought about it, but I will say, having the ability to compete for a championship is everything I can ask for at this point in my career. So, we'll see.
Julius, when you say most meaningful, why is it because of the opportunity? Why?
Yeah, the opportunity to win. You get this close, and you're on a team that has room to grow, and we can continue to get better. It's a lot to be excited for, and usually, around this time, man, I need time off physically, mentally, just to refresh, and obviously I got to give myself that grace, but I'm excited and I'm motivated just to get back to work. So,
Julius, you went through a lot of changes on both sides of the ball this year. Both as this season ended and looking forward to next year, what role on offense and on defense do you think are you most comfortable with and seems to fit best with this roster?
I think it's my versatility and being able to do many different things. I always, when I go into the offseason, I'm like, all right, how can I get better? And I think a big way in thinking, how I think, is how can I play the most efficient basketball? And I think down the stretch for this team, I was playing, pretty efficient basketball and basketball that just helps us win. So, I mean, it's really whatever coach asks and whatever he needs me to do. If you need me to score, if you need me to pass. I think one thing I can do a lot better next year is rebound the basketball. That's been one of the strong suits of my career, and I feel like I didn't rebound well this year at all. And then defensively, just being as engaged as possible. I think when I'm playing with guys like Ant and, Jaden and Rudy and those guys and how they bring that intensity level on the defensive end, it's inspiring. So I think that's somewhere I feel like I can take a step as well, being engaged full time and being disruptive on that end.
Julius, you've talked about how much you've enjoyed your experience here. Like, being around the league as long as you have, how important is that level of comfort off the floor translating on the court?
Extremely. Surprising, I will say. Just, being my 11th year, you come to Minnesota and you're like, all right, usually it's cold as hell. And you don't leave the hotel, so I really never knew much about it. But I was very surprised. And, it's really my speed as far as, I'm a kid from Dallas and used to just, the space and, my family and my kids being able to run around and all that different type of stuff. So, I definitely found a comfort level and got used to the cold and, blizzards in March and all that different type of stuff. But it was cool, man. I enjoyed it. So now, I'll probably spend my summer here.
Piggybacking off of that, Julius, what does the off season look like for you? What do you work on? Like, what is your mindset when you go into the off season?
I think meeting with coach and seeing what he really needs from me. Not just what I feel like I got to get better at, but seeing what he thinks he needs from me, and how I can help the team. So, always at this point in my career, always going to the off season and say, all right, how can I best prepare my body for the long haul and, be in the best shape possible. I always start there. I think it's huge this year being able to go into the offseason healthy, which hasn't been the case for me the past few years, so that's great. But, from a basketball perspective, I look at the tape. I'll definitely look at these 5 games and, see how can I be more effective for our team, and I'll probably start there, to be honest.
And what did you learn about Anthony Edwards as a teammate? Obviously, first year with him. What did you learn about him throughout the season?
Man, he's amazing. He's everything you would want in your star player and more. His ability to lead, how special he is, and I've been around great players, specifically Kobe, and the mindsets are similar, as far as how they approach the game, how they approach their craft in general. And he just wants to be the best, and he's the ultimate competitor. So, he's got a bright future, man.